What's up guys, it's Rob with Black Hill Woodwork, and in today's video, we're going to be turning this. So, this past weekend, I cleaned up my garage, and I'll tell you, I found some pieces of wood that I haven't seen in years, and I totally forgot about. And this is one of those pieces. I'm not sure what species it is. I think it's some kind of oak, but I don't really know. It's got this weird purple mark right here. I don't know what that's from. But if you guys do know what kind of species this is, if you guys could tell from the bark or the grain, definitely let me know in the comments, because my guess is some kind of oak, red oak, but I'm not sure. So let's go to the bandsaw, cut this up into a bowl blank, and then I guess we can start turning. Okay, here we go. Here's our bowl blank. Not a perfect circle, but it is pretty close to it. I don't usually cut bowl blanks this well. Let's take this thing out, then put it on the lathe. Alright, we're back by the lathe. Let's put this thing in between centers and then get started. It's all connected, looks good, it's turning pretty true. Get this close up, then let's start turning. We'll turn up the RPMs a little bit. Running at about 1,000 RPMs. Okay, first thing I noticed about this wood, and you know, I knew exactly when I picked it up, is that it is very punky, almost rotten. I mean, this thing is like not even a pound, and it's 8 inches big. I mean, it's not a small bowl, but it's very punky. So it's cutting very easy, but because it's punky, it's not the strongest bowl. But we'll figure it out. I think I'll just be using some sanding sealer to strengthen it up a little bit. Hopefully it's not too rotten. I mean, it's punky, but it's not crazy punky, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna start working on this curve, and then after that, make the foot. Okay, I'll tell you what, right here, towards the top, the wood is much harder. The wood is much harder up here, so it's actually a good sign. I'm gonna make this more of like a, not straight edge, but like a straight slanted edge, if that makes sense. Not like a usual curve that most of these bowls have, but like a triangle kind of. I need to work on the bottom, put a foot on there, and then just make that straight edge right across. Okay, that's it. It has a slight curve to it, but I don't know. It's a weird looking bowl, but I like the shape. I don't think I've ever made a bowl with this kind of shape. Let me shape the 10 in, and then we'll flip it around. Okay, we got our tenon. I'm a little nervous about this tenon, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's very rotten. Hopefully it doesn't shear off because the wood up here is pretty tough and it's gonna be kind of hard to cut through. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So let's flip it around. Okay, looks pretty good. It's spinning good. Let's turn it on, hollow this thing out. I'm definitely going to be using some tail support just because I really do not trust that tenon. Turn the speed up. Going at about 1100 RPMs. Okay, this is where we're at. It's turning pretty nice, even though it's pretty punky. The wood isn't too bad up here. Still have a little bit of ways to go, but we're actually getting kind of close. And I'm going to keep this on for as long as I possibly can. I know a lot of people always get angry when they see me with the tail support on so long, but that's just the way I turn. Okay, well, we're almost at the bottom. Let me clean up some of these cuts and take this off, and then we'll be done. Okay. Here's the bowl. It's got some weird yellow stuff in there. I'm not sure what that is or what that means. If you guys do know why it's yellow, please let me know. Yeah, so now it's time for sanding, 80 to 400 grit, and I'll definitely be putting at least 2 to 3 coats of sanding sealer on before the finish. So we're done with the sanding, 80 to 400 grit. Now we're going to be using some sanding sealer, a pretty good amount of it too. Because some areas are punky and some aren't, the finish is going to absorb more in some spots than others. And that's where the sanding sealer really comes in and helps with that. So just put on a generous amount, and then I'll go get some cloth or a rag and wipe off the extra bits. After that, I'll let it sit for like 15 minutes to dry, and then I'll put on another coat. If I need to, I'll even put on a third. I'll tell you one thing about this bowl. I probably wouldn't use it as a salad bowl to eat out of, but as a decorative bowl, I think it looks pretty cool. You guys can't see the outside just yet. There's a pretty good amount of spalting. Has a pretty weird shape to it that I like. I mean, you could use it as a salad bowl if you want, but the shape reminds me more of some kind of weird decorative bowl. So done with applying that, let me get a rag and wipe off all the extra. If you don't wipe off this extra driplets and stuff, it'll harden just like that. And you're gonna be having, well, yeah, you're gonna be having hard driplets on your bowl. That sounded kind of weird saying it out loud. Okay, I'm gonna let that sit 15 minutes, and then we'll put on a second coat. Okay, so I already put on 2 coats of sanding sealer. Now to just make sure the surface is smooth and ready for finishing, I'm gonna be using this Yorkshire grit. I've said it in probably all of my videos, but if you've never used Yorkshire grit, I highly recommend it. It makes a huge difference in the quality and the finishing of any piece you use. It's not just bowls. Any wood turn piece, I use Yorkshire grit. Now that we're done with the Yorkshire grit, I'm gonna use some tried and true. See what this bowl is gonna look like. It's probably not gonna change much from the Yorkshire grit, but we'll definitely brighten it up. Okay, next steps, I'm gonna take this off of the chuck, sand the bottom, and repeat the same process with the sanding sealer, Yorkshire grit, and finish. If you guys stayed this far into the video, I appreciate it. Thank you. Stay tuned for future videos and hit that like and subscribe button.